Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this special unboxing video on a Monday, that's what I'm going to be, I suppose attempting to do is probably the best word, because in the new room I've got nowhere near as much space as what I used to have, and this is quite a big box. So yeah, I'm going to do my absolute best to unbox him so you can see what I'm doing. At the same time, as always, and I really like the fact that loads of people are guessing now, that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be making it into a bit of a guessing game. But because, as you can see, it's quite a big box, and one of the clues for this figures already is it's a Japanese exclusive. It's direct from a Japanese auction website. I'm going to do a little bit of a chat as I'm unboxing this, explaining how well they work and why I suppose I've used them for so long. Because this particular figure in here, price wise, on eBay now, it's astronomical. It's a crazy price figure. But if you go on the Japanese website, which I did, I picked this up for probably about a quarter of what it is on normal eBay. So that's eBay Europe, ebay.com, which is of course US and everywhere else. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, all you've got to do is, don't get me wrong, sometimes you've got to search for a few things, sometimes you've got to wait it out. But I'll tell you what I really like about Jauce especially, which is, it's www.jauce. It might be .com or it might be .jp, or because it's something to do with Japan. But what I really like about it is, more so than being, I imagine it's way better for sellers, because at the moment I am selling a few things on eBay, and the amount of people who buy things from me and then cancel or who bid and then retract the bids, etc. Sorry, this isn't really be a bit of a guessing game, but I will get to it. It's crazy. It's unheard of. So it's frustrating, obviously, because if you think you've sold a figure, you wrap it up, etc., and then no one ends up buying it, and you've got to relist it, unpack it, etc. Well, in Japan, on this particular one, Jauce, which is the one I like to use a lot, you can't bid on it unless you put the funds in already. So A, it's really good because it can stop you spending money that you don't have. So what I do with Jauce is I just put a little bit of money in. Now and again, to be honest, it was mainly at birthdays, or obviously I've just done the NEC Toy Fair, so I put some money in. So basically you open an account and you put money in. So obviously our sterling is Great British pounds, we have to convert it to yen, and of course PayPal does all this, and that's exactly what you do. You put your money in. So the good thing is you can't bid on it unless you've got the money, and also you don't, if you get outbid straight away, they obviously just put the money straight back into your account. But what this does, obviously, it restricts your spending, which is brilliant, because sometimes you can get caught up in the heat of the moment. You know, you keep getting outbid, and yeah, spend more money than you actually wanted to. But that's enough about that. Have a look at it. It's Jauce, Jauce. It's a Japanese website. It's spectacular, and helped me get so much of these ones behind me, and indeed one of these ones, which in all honesty, it's a newer figure. So it is a Japanese exclusive. I say newer figure, it's probably about 15 years old or so. There's two huge clues I can give you straight away, which would give it away straight away, which I don't really want to. I think I can get into it actually looking at this now. But the other thing as well they do is, talking about the website, is they do something like a pile of loot. And I think I found out about this way before Big Bad Toy Store did it. So obviously if you're buying stuff from Japan, I would normally ship a few things in one, because they hold on to it in their warehouse for 90 days. So you've got 3 months to find something else if you want something else, or 3 months so you can just ship it all over at once. Right, that's still no clues, is it? So sorry, here comes some of the clues. So the clues for this figure is, it is using an original Generation 1 mould. The original Generation 1 figure was not the first use of this mould. No, it definitely wasn't. It definitely wasn't. There were originally, I think at least 3 different variants of this figure before it became an actual Transformer, to be honest. I've definitely seen this particular colour scheme of it, though, wasn't. This particular colour scheme was never, until this version, used as a Transformer. So I think I'm giving away too much right now. But it's not a 1984 figure. It's not the original one, I think, would have been a 1985. This one, as I say, wasn't. This one is 2000s, and yeah, it's wrapped spectacular. They wrap it really, really good. I can see what it is through all the bubble wrap. So now it's time for some more clues. So This particular figure as well, the original was not released in the UK, so that might help UK people, not anybody else, unfortunately. I think one of the main reasons why it wasn't released, do you know what? It might not have been released in Japan. And I think it was down to do with some of them silly toy licensing laws that they had the problems with getting their, obviously, Skyfire out. Now, I know that the figure of this was released in Japan as a reissue, but not this version. So yes, 1985 figure. It's so current at the moment. That's one of the bigger clues. It's so current in the last couple of months. It's crazy. This version, I suppose, wasn't really heard of unless you knew about eHobby or Japanese exclusives. This version you probably might not even have seen. You would have seen it in a cartoon and you'd have been like, oh, I know exactly what that is, but it was in a cartoon. Whereas now he's had a very, very recent reissue, and it's just such a great color scheme. The character's not really a character as such. He just appears briefly in a G1 episode. I think 2 G1 episodes now I've said that, but in the one that everybody's talking about at the moment, they seem to be getting all of the characters making figures of everybody from the episode War Dawn, and that's where exactly this guy's from. Now this particular figure, again, I wanted him for so long, and then I don't know what it was. I think, in all honesty, I just continued with my G1 goal, and then it's one of them things where when you come back, all of a sudden it's just the most stupid price you've ever seen, and you gutted with yourself, and B, you can't justify it. Can you tell what? Maybe with that. And with this is exactly one of them, as I say. So I was only looking on, of course, normal eBays, because that's all I really look at it for normal figures, what I class as normal. And then I don't know what it was. I was like, I need to check Joust again. So I checked on Joust, and it was on there, and it wasn't on a bite now, unfortunately. It was on a bid, which is exactly what I did. And as I say, I got this for literally a quarter of the price that it's going for on eBay right now. So it's well worth it. If you're after anything specific that is Japanese, whether it's G1 Vintage Original, whether it's Robot Masters, whether it's eHobby, whether it's anything, even the Takara versions of figures, like they've always got the special editions, or the Fall of Cybertron figures in the different colours. You nearly saw that then, which is no problem, but I'm trying to get all the wrapping off it. I'd strongly advise just to check them all out. So what other clues can I give you? So I think, as I say, the reason why we didn't get a G1 in the UK of it was because of the toy licensing laws. It is one of the dying old toy things that I am definitely, if I get a chance to ask Hasbro again any questions, I want to ask them if they're ever going to put things like a motor back in them. So this has got a motor in, or it did have as well. And yeah, as I say, I suppose the biggest clues of it are, number one, it wasn't a Transformer before it was a Transformer. Number two, it was released quite a few other places around the world. All the paperwork's on the outside of it. That's the first time I've ever seen that. And he's just been reissued very recently. He was in War Dawn, and this is the original. I can't believe it. So this is, of course, the Sentinel robot, but using the original G1 Omega Supreme colours. So it looks like it's opened. I said it was opened. But the other thing as well to be aware of, on the Japanese website, they call it junk if they've opened it. And 90% of the time it's unused. It's not junk at all, but there is the beautiful, yeah, that's stunning, beautiful original blue and white Sentinel eHobby exclusive Omega Supreme. So if I can make enough space here, I'll get around to doing a video on him as soon as possible. But there you go. If you are guessing it, please don't put his name in the comments. Just put I got it or whatever and things like that, and then of course I'll try and get around to doing a video on it. So for those of you who don't know, and for those of you who don't know anything about eHobby, check them out. They make the most amazing figures ever. But there you go, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Take care.